Hey creatures, welcome to the Comics Lab. I'm Harrold, and I have issues. And this week is a huge week, creatures, because for the first time in decades, Marvel and DC are crossing over in a huge event. And there it is, Batman Deadpool. Batman Deadpool. This is a big deal, creatures. For the first time in a really long time, Marvel and DC have been able to put their differences aside and bring us a really cool crossover. Written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Dan Mora. And here it is. Look at it. They're fighting each other. What's that in the background? Like angel wings and stuff? I'm not even sure. It looks great. Can't wait to crack this open. Grant Morrison is like a wild dude. And like, sometimes his writing's on point and sometimes it's not great. We'll see what happens here. And it also looks like there's going to be a bunch of other stories too, with like a bunch of other writer-creators. All right, let's take a look. Take a look at the inside page. Come on, let's go, creatures. Yeah, Batman Deadpool. Okay, so it looks like Batman Deadpool is the main show, and then we're getting a bunch of other crossovers here. And I gotta say, I'm super excited. What have we got here? We've got Hellblazer and Doctor Strange, Nightwing and Laura Kinney's Wolverine, Harley Quinn and the Incredible Hulk, and Static and Miss Marvel. Wow, I really like these team-ups. This is going to be really interesting and may have to be their own separate episode. But I'm particularly interested in that Doctor Strange Hellblazer crossover. Wow. All right. This comic is packing a punch. I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan in the universe, but DC Marvel crossover is a big deal, and having Deadpool here is perfectly alright with me. I think it might be a great matchup. Let's find out. The first story in this event is called The Cosmic Kiss Caper, and is written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Dan Mora. It opens with Eternity from Marvel, and who I'm guessing is Perpetua from DC. I might be wrong about that. That's definitely Eternity from Marvel. I'm not exactly sure who the woman is. I really do think it's Perpetua, but they don't explicitly say. But now the universes have met, and all roads lead to Gotham. It looks like poor Victor here got caught up in Amanda Waller's shenanigans. She's always up to shenanigans, Amanda Waller shenanigans, and it looks like he lost his wife. And Batman's there to figure out what happened, and to stop Amanda Waller from whatever she's planning. Seemingly, the trail leads to Greece, and Batman's on his comms like, "Don't engage until I tell you exactly what is happening." And he's walking around like looking for clues, and is talking about like some kind of reality item. What we're looking for may have reality twisting capabilities. So he keeps like looking around and finds a Batarang that he didn't design. And then we get like a glimpse back at Eternity and Perpetua's date, and it's going well. We turn the page and title page. Batman Deadpool. And it's Deadpool holding a Batman riddled with arrows? Like, what just happened? This is super confusing. This isn't where we were at all. And he's holding him and he's like, "Batman, I warned you. I warned you something like this would happen." And then Deadpool explains that this is a flashback. He crosses this guy's heart and hopes to die. And there's like these animated things he's fighting too. And there's just like a whole bunch of chaos going on. It is Chapter 1. Merc. Mouth. Meta. We're getting meta. No. Not metal. We're getting metal. No. Not metal. Meta. Oh, my apologies. Meta! We're getting meta! I don't think you... That's okay. You go right ahead. Just say meta. Like, exactly like that. We're getting meta. Meta. Merc. Mouth. Meta! Now that all the Lowe's, like, animated dudes are dead, Deadpool is, like, going around and he's like, wait, 1 wall, 2 walls, 3 walls. I can see you. I can see you too, Deadpool. You're right there. We found you. And he found us, kinda. That is a whole plane up there. My goodness. There it goes. Whee! I believe I can fly. I believe I would fall off a cliff. So while Deadpool is enjoying his newfound freedom from the fourth wall, some rubber duckies show up and explode. And then he falls to the ground and looks up, and there's Batman holding his blown off limbs. And Batman's like holding his legs, looking down at him like, you want your legs back? Deadpool's like, no, just the boots. Batman instantly figures out like he has healing factor. And funny enough, like Batman goes, do you know Deathstroke? Does that name mean anything to you? And Deadpool's like, no, not at all. I'm Deadpool. I am Wade Wilson. This page also introduces the musical theme here. You'll see these musical notes on the White Owl, and they're playing the music there. I don't know what the tones are. I don't know how it translates. So someone in the comments, let me know. Send me an audio file or something like that. Or just like a link to another YouTube video. That would be cool. But like, for some reason, Wade's like, okay, I'm just gonna chop up this Batman, and tries to like get the jump on Batman, and Batman just slams him down fast. And he's like, you are definitely not Deathstroke. So the pair of them are stuck in a labyrinth. And it's got like this like bathroom motif, and then they walk into like this bar motif. And you can see there, because if you look closely, it says Amalgam. Amalgam was so cool if you knew what Amalgam was. It was their old crossover, and they literally like jammed heroes together. It was super fun. The story's not great, but it was still a lot of fun to look at. But as they're walking around and trying to figure things out, Deadpool's like, you're just a dude in a cosplay. And Batman's like, well, you kill people. And Deadpool's like, well, I'm kind of like more like an anti-hero kind of situation. How come we've never even heard of each other? And Batman's like, I think this is a multiverse situation. You still could be Slade Wilson. And Batman's like, that's, you've invented a new slur calling me that. Stop calling me Slade Wilson. Stop calling me Deathstroke. This is still the worst. I am Deadpool. I am me, Wade Wilson. I'm totally my own thing. Who are you supposed to be? Moon Knight? Nighthawk? Night Owl? And as they traverse the labyrinth, Deadpool goes on about like, he's incessant chattering, and Batman's like, I don't really care. I fight a clown as my arch enemy. Were you even talking? And they're in this little like rubber ducky thing, and they continue on in through the maze. And as they go on, they're hearing like this music coming out of somewhere. And both Deadpool and Batman are like, we are in Deep Doo-Doo, Chapter 2, where dark nights dare. So they come up to this like dead end that's got like this basketball court, and Batman's talking about the player piano and the chess table, and now we have the basketball, and he's like, this is all connected. And Deadpool's like, I have no idea what's going on. Can we just like fight some animated goons, ninja goons? I mean, though Batman can't kill, these are like mindless cartoon ninja goons. So Deadpool's like, it's okay to kill these, Batman. It's no big. And Batman's like, you know about my code of no killing? And since Batman's like a fourth wall breaker, this tracks. And he's like, Batman, look, you've got all the plot armor. And Batman's like, all right, let's put it to the test. And he jumps in front of all the arrows, and then we're sped up to the flashback. And with all the arrows, now with Batman's like, I do have plot armor. This universe is real. I believe Cassandra has us. And flip the page. And it is! Cassandra is in both of their minds with her weird finger thing. But like, what's the deal with her hat? That's like a hunter's from the 1920s elephant gun hat. The like hunter from Jumanji. Like, what's with this hat? Is she just trying to cover up she's bald, or is it like a cerebro machine? Maybe. I don't know. You tell me. So Cassandra goes on that she's like, oh, I tricked Batman to get here. And she reveals that Deadpool was looking for a weapon to kill her. And she tricked Batman into finding it first. And even though she's inside Batman's mind, he isn't letting her know what's up. And she actually like takes out her hand. She was like, ah! How many Batmen are in there? I like it when Batman can like compete with gods on this kind of level, or like demigods kind of situation. It's interesting on how his willpower can go up against almost any god in the DC universe. And that's about to count the Marvel universe as well. Even though some people disagree, Grant Morrison has a tendency to deify the Batman. And I'm actually kind of a fan of that. He is a top tier DC character, and it's interesting to see him go up against all these different type of characters, and you really need someone who can do that. However, for Deadpool, he is very much in the sway of Cassandra Cain, fully bought into Batman being filled with arrows. And so he drags him to a Lazarus pit and throws him in hopes that it would bring back this Batman. In the background, you get to see Hela and Black Flash and a couple other cosmic villains, I think. And while Deadpool is hoping Batman comes out of the Lazarus pit okay, instead, he gets the Amalgam Darkclaw! Darkclaw's back! This is a Batman with healing factor like Wolverine, and he got his own claws. He was a part of the Amalgam universe, and he pops out of the Lazarus pit. In the fight, they find themselves on this giant typewriter. And Darkclaw's like, "Lookin', Deadpool, you have to listen to me. I'm the Darkclaw, Batman with a healing factor, blah, and I don't work alone. I have a partner who never does what he's told." Chapter 3. 2 guys, 1 keyboard. Back in the real world, from the rafters comes the one, the only, the Damian Wayne. And he jumps on the back of Cassandra Cain and knocking them free from her grasp. Deadpool is immediately impressed. And he's like, "Oh, who's the mini-me?" And Damian's like, "I am the son of Batman." Deadpool's like, "Oh, he's well adjusted. Oh my. Batman, you really make him weird." Now with Cassandra Cain out of the way, they run into the forest and come across a mysterious stranger with a laptop. And Batman's like, "Do you know this guy?" And Deadpool's like, "That's the Phantom Stenographer." What? This is Grant Morrison, self-including himself. The plot's jumping around a little bit. It's hard to keep track. And now Grant Morrison's like, "Here I am. I am the Phantom Stenographer. And my laptop is the most powerful weapon in the DC universe. Is the most powerful weapon in any universe and can rewrite any canon." So the Phantom Stenographer reveals that it looks like Victor Grover from before was a part of a Suicide Squad mission that involved a character named the Writer. And the laptop is the relic that everyone is chasing, including Amanda Waller and so forth. And Cassandra. They all want the laptop so they can rewrite reality. And just as the Phantom Stenographer is like, "You'll never be able to stop me," Cassandra Nova comes up and grabs him in the head and starts controlling him to rewrite reality. But the Phantom Stenographer is like, no, that still doesn't work. You were created, you're a piece of fiction as well, and the laptop is outside of that. And she's like, wait, you made me? And then everyone is surprised by dead bat. It's Dead Bat, everyone, for a single panel. Okay, so the universes collided, they came together, and then they attacked Cassandra, and then her head's in a jar now. Alright, what? Okay, sure, why not? It was super abrupt and immediately disappeared, so whatever. Now it looks like the universe is going to be fixed because Deadpool and Batman became Dead Bat and defeated the Stenographer and Cassandra Cain somehow. Don't ask me. This is what I'm looking at. There's a lot of weirdness going on here, but I'm enjoying the jokes and the interactions. The plot does not have to be the best possible. So Batman and Deadpool say their goodbyes. Robin gets a classic punch the fist moment. She got away. She got a head start. Then the Phantom Stenographer's like, "I can't do this anymore anyway." And then he says a lot of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, and Batman's like, "Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me." And there's a lot of timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly going on. No kidding. Good lord. But Batman asks for one little favor, and that's to give Victor Grover's his wife back. And all is right in the multiverse. So that book is all over the place. And there's like a B-plot going on that's really weird and not really relevant, but just like a setup for why they're here. But I do really enjoy the multiple interactions between Batman and Deadpool, and it really did come across off how you think it would. I especially like the line where Batman was like, "Look, my arch nemesis is a disfigured clown, and I work with a hyperactive kid. Like, you talking a bunch is not a big deal for me." And Deadpool was allowed to break the fourth wall just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. The only parts I really didn't like was Grant Morrison interjecting himself. And that hasn't been the first time he's done something like that. He's done that in the past, so I'm not entirely surprised this happened. Just a little disappointed that he keeps doing that. Overall, I don't really see how it could have been done better. And it was a lot of fun to read, and you get plenty from both characters and how they would interact. And you get an interesting villain here and there, and you get to see Darkclaw. That was a highlight. Love seeing Darkclaw. But I gotta say, overall, the value of this book is top notch, especially with the other stories that are coming. This whole second half of the book is crossovers with other characters, so I'm really excited to get dug into that. But until then, remember to like and subscribe for your weekly Harrold issues. Until next time, creatures. Wow!